West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast. West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. I'm one half of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, Machel St. Patrick Hewitt. And this particular episode, as the title suggests, we are just looking ahead to the second test versus Pakistan. It begins on Saturday, the 25th of January. So we still got well over 48 hours before the test begins. Is it 48? Yeah, well over 48 hours until the test begins. But in the interest of content and getting it out there, because I won't do it tomorrow, I just wanted to kind of look ahead to, will we see any changes? And this should be a quick video, because the reality is I only see one change, but I'm going to talk people through it. And you can get in the comments below and let me know which of the two teams I present. Maybe I'll give you three. Which of the three teams I present that you believe would be the best way forward to approach the second test match. Now, before I get into that, I just want to send a shout out and thanks to anybody who, engages with the Caribbean Cricket Podcast on any of the number of platforms that we have, whether that be Spotify, Apple in terms and all the kind of audio platforms, whether that be X, Instagram, Patreon, whether you're a patron who helps support us financially, Blue Sky, where else am I thinking? TikTok, we're everywhere. If you support the Caribbean Cricket Podcast on any of the social media handles that we've got, big up you. But in particular, big up the people who support us on YouTube and press that like, share, subscribe, and follow button. Today, I got the notification that we had passed the 11K subscribers target on YouTube, which is why on the ticker tape below, you'll see that it now says road to 12K. We move, we keep moving. But you can't keep moving without thanking the people who have got you to where they've got you on this particular journey, because you are the ones who subscribe. You are the ones who keep this content banging over. So thank you to each and every one of you. It doesn't go unrecognized. It doesn't go unappreciated. So thank you. Now, looking ahead to the West Indies team that will play that second test. So just to remind people, because you always have to start with a reminder of who's not in the squad, or sorry, who wasn't in the team for the first test. So the four people that missed out in the first test were Anderson Phillip, Josh De Silva, Amir Jangu, and Kemar Roach. Roach was injured, De Silva was dropped, Jangu was 12th man for the first test, and I guess Anderson Phillip was effectively the spare part, and I mean that in the nicest sense. Having seen how the first test played out in Multan, and bearing in mind that the second test is in Multan, and bearing in mind that Craig Brathwaite effectively said after the first test, we're expecting pretty much the same again in Multan, that's the context that people need to apply. So before, the West Indian cricket fan base and West Indies cricket media have a compulsion, and I see it everywhere. I see it on social media. I see it in the Facebook uncle groups. You lot have a compulsion to believe that just one change here for one man there, and we're going to see it pay dividends. Everyone always looks for the simplistic response. And we are where we are. As much as some people can say, but we bowled really well, and we did. Well, some people bowled better than others. Jamel Warwick and in particular Jaden Seals. We bowled okay, well, delete as applicable against Pakistan. We were one big partnership away from it being a closer game, because Saud and who was the other guy, Mohammed Rizwan, put on something close to a 100-run partnership in that first test. And when you look at the rest of the scores, Pakistan made 150, I think we made 1-3 something, and then 1-2-3 or something like that. So if we want to clutch at straws, literally clutch at straws, we can say, well, it was actually a relatively closer test match than people realize, but for one partnership and but for Gudakesh Moti being out of form, arguably so. If that's your approach to this, you will accept and agree that there aren't really many changes that can be made. Even if your approach to this was, we got mashed down, laying down, it weren't even close, there still aren't many changes one can make. This conversation is not the same conversation as what should happen by the time West Indies play Australia. And if you're on our X handle, by the way, you may have seen that we've just tweeted that the Major League Cricket window this year clashes with West Indies' test series against Australia. So will Sammy bring in white ball players? Who knows? Because there's a white ball for another one. There's another dunce white ball T20 tournament going on. So who really knows who's going to make themselves available? But that's another question for another day. I'm going to give you 3 teams, 3 options as to what could take place. All you need to do beyond listen to this is get in the comments below and say which one you would pick and why. Make sure to like the video, share the video, subscribe, hit the notification button, all of that. Anyways, here's team 1. Team 1, which I think is possibly the most obvious change to make. Amir Jangu in, Casey Carty out. That's team 1. Everyone else stays the same. The only question, if it is Amir Jangu in and Casey Carty out, is how do you reconfigure the batting order? Is it a straight swap? Do you put Jangu in at number 3? I wouldn't. I would change the batting order, and possibly you have to ask one of Kavem Hodge or Alec Athanaze, probably Hodge, to come in at number 3 and then fit Jangu in, whether at 4 or 5 or whatever it might be. That's team 1. Again, listen to all the teams, get in the comments below afterwards and let me know what you would do and why. Team 2. Jaden Seals out, Amir Jangu in. Now, this is my wild card team. Some of you now about to smash up your keyboard going, this dunce London Englishman. I'm Jamaican, by the way. This dunce London Englishman, he don't know what he's talking about. Just hear me out. I'm not saying it's the team I'd play, but it's something worth considering. In the first test match in Multan, bearing in mind the second test match is in Multan, Pakistan bowled 1 over of pace and then just lenged us down with spin, right? There is an argument to say, knowing that you don't need to bowl pace on this track, that you don't play Jaden Seals, you bring in Jangu and bolster the batting, because the batting is the weakness. It's not the bowling. Of the 20 wickets West Indies took in this test match, 3 fell to pace. Obviously, Jade, and listen, because some of you, I notice this more and more with videos that I do. People don't actually listen, and I don't know if it's that you willfully don't listen or if you're just dunce, right? So listen carefully. I am not saying that Seals should be out because he's not good. That's not my point whatsoever. Jaden Seals is the star boy. I think I've done enough videos and shorts and reels to make it clear how highly I rate Jaden Seals. But Seals took 3 wickets out of 20 in that first test match. Pakistan only bowled 1 over of pace, full stop, right? Obviously, Seals was super economical and on the money, and he was able to make breakthroughs on a wicket that favoured spin. But it's not a wicket that you need to bowl pace on. Yes, it's one of our strong suits, but where's the line between it being our stronger suit and what the pitch requires? Does this pitch require an out-and-out frontline pacer? If, as Craig Brathwaite says, they're expecting the exact same as in the first test, then there is an argument to say you you rest Seals, you bring in Jangu because you recognize that it's the batting that is the problem. And then you ask Gudakesh Moulty, Kevin Sinclair, Jamel Warrican, Justin Graves, if needs be, and then the rest of the part-timers, Hodge, Athanaze, even Craig Brathwaite, to bowl. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying it's an option to consider. That's team 2. And then my third team is Jangu doesn't come in, which I don't believe would happen, and it's De Silva who comes in instead. I just want to clarify, I don't see this happening. But if it was De Silva that came in, it would be De Silva for Carty again. And the only difference would be is that you would be giving De Silva a chance in the top 6 to bat, and without the gloves, because you'd leave the gloves to Imlak, and you just give Josh a chance to bat as a batter, no keeping responsibilities. I don't necessarily agree with that team. I don't think that's easy. Imagine, look at that, people. Imagine I'm recording and my what the internet just ducked out. And the thing is, I'm leaving this in. I'm not even gonna edit it. I'm just gonna leave that gap in and let you lot cuss me in the comments below. Caribbean Cricket Podcast. We don't even try nice up the ting. We just leave in the mistakes. we just leave in the mistakes. Internet said, "Hey, Jason Holder, was that you? Did you chop down my internet again? I'm tired of Holder chopping up my internet, trying to make me shut my mouth." But on a serious one, you give De Silva a chance to bat inside the top 6 without keeping responsibilities. I doubt that would happen because Jangu was 12th man in the first test, right? So you would have to assume that any change that happens for the second test is because Amir Jangu is going to be the one who comes in. I do not foresee 2 changes. I would only ever foresee 2 changes if there's an injury. But what would you do, people? I'm not even going to talk too much more on that. I think I've said enough. I'm not going to talk too tough now on that. I'm going to let you lot get in the comments below and argue it out amongst yourselves. Would you pick my team 1, just to recap in case you didn't understand? Team 1, Carty out, Jangu in, reshuffle the batting order, probably Hodge at 3. Team 2, Seals out, Jangu in, strengthen the batting and tell the spinners to bowl all the overs like Pakistan are going to do. Or Team 3, Carty out, De Silva in, and give Joss a chance to bat in the top 6 without keeping responsibilities. What team would you pick and why, people? Get in the comments below, let me know. A little quick one. Content has been on fleek this year, 2025. It's only the 23rd of January, and we've been dropping content like Caribbean Cricket Podcast as a TV show. Anyways, big up everyone. That's been another video for you to chew up and discuss and cuss me out and cuss out Santoki and so on and so forth. Get your Caribbean Cricket Podcast beanies, people. Hey, these things are nice. They're comfy, man. They're warm out here. This beanie's been one of the best pieces of merch runs I've done. If you're yet to get your Caribbean Cricket Podcast beanie, DM me, send me an email, whatever it might be. I'll get that shipped out. £18 for patrons, £22 for non-patrons. Posting and packaging depends on where you are in the world. That price includes the postage and packaging. But if it's somewhere abroad where it's a bit more expensive, I might have to include a tiny bit more money on it. So far, we've shipped all over England. Have I shipped one abroad yet? I can't even remember. I swear I might have shipped one abroad. But anyways, we've shipped them out. I think there's one in the United States, but I can't remember. We shipped them out. So big up everybody who's purchased one. Love that. Get in the comments or let me know, email me, whatever, if you'd like to get one. And if you'd like to support the Caribbean Cricket Podcast financially, every little bit counts, as little as $1, 1 yen, 1 rupee, £1, whatever your currency is. Head to www. I don't even know the address. 1 second. Let me look at the ticker tape. www.patreon.com/Carib Cricket. Any little bit helps and counts. If you'd like to discuss sponsorship of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, email us caribcricket@gmail.com. Let's enter into a conversation. 2025, we're coming big, we're coming strong. I'll be Machel St. Patrick Hewitt, one half the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. See you all very, very soon.
West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast. West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.